At the end of May 1945, after the war in Yugoslavia was over, Yugoslav communists committed the largest crime against humanity in all of Europe. They killed, without trial, over 100,000 people, mostly former soldiers, and they hid them in 800 concealed mass graves. This is one of them. It's called Masesnova Gorica. Several years ago, over 3,000 victims were exhumed from this grave.
In June 1945, after the end of the war, Yugoslav communist authorities carried out the extrajudicial execution of approximately 3,450 Slovenians, most of them former members of the Slovene Home Guard, or Domobranci, who had been forcibly repatriated back to Yugoslavia by the British when they fled to Austria. The prisoners or captives were deceived into believing that they were being sent by train to Italy from Austria and freedom. Instead, Yugoslavian members of OSNA, who are trained assassins, transported them back to Yugoslavia. They went to several concentration camps, including Skopje Loka and Šentvid, and then eventually to the remote forests of Kocevski Rog. Before then and there, they were systematically tortured, and then they were murdered without trials. Most of these former Home Guards had assisted the Allies throughout the war by spying on the Germans and reporting German military activities to the Allies. They were pro-Ally and anti-German. At Masesnova Gorica, victims were executed. Many were shot, others killed by explosives, and their bodies were dumped into natural karst pits, which are very deep, and mass graves. Communists then sealed these graves to conceal the crime. Even today, however, evidence of these crimes remains seen around the mass graves. Shards, mirror shards, can be found, personal belongings of the former Home Guards, and traces of lime are around the site. Also, occasionally, human bones are found. For decades, under communist rule, the massacre was officially denied and strictly silenced. Only after Slovenia's independence in 1991 were investigations allowed. Archaeological research later confirmed the scale of the killings and the identity of the victims, establishing Masesnova Gorica as one of the most significant mass graves in Europe and a symbol of post-war communist terror and the suppression of historical truth. Although the victims' bodies have been exhumed, they have not been identified or buried. The Slovenian government, most notably the current mayor of the capital city of Ljubljana, refuses to allow the victims to be buried. Instead, the bones are piled up in an ossuary. Slovenia's post-World War II massacres committed by the communists constitute the largest crime against humanity carried out in Europe after World War II. Slovenian politicians to this day continue to deny that the massacre was a crime against humanity.
No one was ever prosecuted or held accountable for this largest crime against humanity committed in Europe after World War II.